How's it going, everybody? This is Smitty, back with another NBA video. Today we'll be discussing the top 50 NBA players. This will be a two-part series, so in today's video, we will go over numbers 50 to 26. Make sure to stay tuned for the second part. But before we get into this video, it would be awesome if you could check to see if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's completely free, takes 1 second to do, and it really helps my channel grow. Also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and comment, as it'll recommend my video to other people through YouTube's algorithm. With that being said, let's get right into the video. With the 2021 NBA season coming to a close, it's about time to rank the top players in the league. Typically, this is a very controversial topic, and to be completely honest, these are just my opinions, so if you disagree, it's totally fine. I'll try to stay as unbiased as possible and try to take everything in consideration when placing these players in order. For this list, I rank players based on how much they'll be worth for this postseason and the beginning of next season. A great way to think about it is if you're an NBA general manager and you can pick a player for only one season, who would you rather? This way you can identify who you think is more valuable at this particular moment. Also, for injured players, I'm assuming they'll come back the same as their previous fully healthy year. The only exclusion for this is Klay Thompson, because I had no clue where to put him. I ended up taking Klay off the list entirely. Just know he would probably be hovering around the 30th to 15th spots if he was healthy. Starting off with our honorable mentions, we have in no particular order: Andre Drummond, Mike Conley, John Collins, Anthony Edwards, DeAndre Ayton, Drew Holiday, Michael Porter Jr., Jeremy Grant, Tobias Harris, RJ Barrett, and D'Angelo Russell. All of these players were extremely close to making the list, but unfortunately, I had to cut the list off at 50. When looking at my top 50 list, you will see how I categorize players into different color groups. This means that players in the same color group are interchangeable, but I have them ordered because I think one guy is slightly better than the next, or I just prefer that player. However, you cannot move players from different color groups ahead of each other. I use this format because it is extremely hard to rank players one after another when they're all so close. With this being said, there are distinct levels of players, so that's why I made the cutoffs for new color groups. Starting at number 50, in the red tier, I've got Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon is making his first entrance into my top 50. He had a really hot start to the season and has helped the Pacers make a strong push for the play-in games. He's averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on 39% from 3. Brogdon has been the Pacers' second best player, so that's why I kept him in the top 50 over players such as D'Angelo Russell, where his team is not in the playoff picture at all. At number 49, I got Kemba Walker, 22 spots down from my ranking last year at number 27. Walker is averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists on pretty poor efficiency. Kemba is such a great talent, but has failed to integrate into this young Boston team. We saw what Kemba can do as the number one option in Charlotte, but unfortunately, his stint in Boston has tainted his resume. From what I can see, Kemba is more of a floor raiser than a ceiling raiser. This means that Kemba is great at elevating a lottery team to a borderline playoff team, but he simply cannot raise a playoff team to a contender. This is an unfortunate fate for Kemba, and I hope he can prove me wrong this postseason with the Celtics. At number 48, I got Victor Oladipo, 19 spots lower than last year's number 29. Victor is averaging 20 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds so far this season, and he's bounced from 3 different teams. I don't blame Victor for his performance so far, considering he's been traded twice, but Victor still hasn't proven he's 100% healthy. I think he can elevate this Miami Heat team, but he's going to have to sacrifice, maybe being the third option behind Bam and Jimmy. At number 47, I got Christian Wood, a new entry to the top 50. Wood is averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds and 2 assists per game. Wood has shown a flawless transition from Detroit to Houston, and he's been the best thing about the Rockets so far this year. Unfortunately, he had that setback injury, but I think Wood will bounce back next season and maybe start off the Rockets' rebuild. At number 46, I got LaMelo Ball, who is also a new entry to my top 50. LaMelo is averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists this season as a rookie. I believe LaMelo will win Rookie of the Year by a long shot, considering his impact on the Hornets' playoff push and his surprising efficiency. LaMelo is a top 20 most valuable player, considering his star potential, but at this point in time, he is a solid top 50 player. At number 45, I got KRISTAPS Porzingis. Averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, KRISTAPS' potential is through the roof. But unfortunately, this guy just cannot stay healthy. I mean, he is 7'3", can shoot efficiently from 3, is a solid pick and pop player, and when healthy, is definitely a top 10 defender in the NBA. Most people overlook KRISTAPS' prowess under the basket, but the man can block shots and move quickly to spots in the paint. If he could just stay healthy, the Mavs would be a top 4 seed in the West, and KRISTAPS would certainly be a top 25 player. At number 44, rounding off the red tier, I got John Wall. Wall is averaging 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists per game on pretty poor efficiency. I was really looking forward to see John Wall and Bradley Beal reunite, but unfortunately the Wizards had different feelings. I think John Wall is a little past his prime, but I think he could still be a third option on a contender. It will be interesting to see what the Rockets choose to do with him starting next season. Kicking off the orange tier, at number 43, I got Rudy Gobert, 13 spots down from last year's ranking at number 30. Rudy is averaging 14 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, and 3 blocks. We all know Rudy is a defensive monster. He's been a defensive player of the year, and his defense overall definitely hasn't gotten worse since then. And even though the Jazz have been going crazy so far, and may end up with the best record in the NBA, Rudy still hasn't been a big impact offensively. He is the 5th leading scorer on the Jazz, yet he has the 2nd highest minutes per game on the team. Some people may say that Rudy's defense makes up for this, and he should be ranked higher, but in my opinion, offense is a little more valuable than defense in today's NBA. At 42, I got Kyle Lowry, 16 spots down from last year's at 26. Kyle Lowry has shown signs of regression this season, and as a Raptors fan, I hate to say it. Kyle is still averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. However, this is a step down from the last few seasons. I really hope Kyle re-signs in the offseason, but at the end of the day, Lowry is starting to fall down the top 50 list. At number 41, I got Ja Morant, the same ranking as last year. Averaging 19, 4, and 7, Ja is sort of having a sophomore slump season. Ja really hasn't improved in many statistical categories, and if so, not by much. He is still the leader of the Grizzlies, and has shown leadership qualities many vets don't even have. Hopefully Ja can improve this offseason, and we can start to see the superstar guard in the making. At number 40, I got Khris Middleton, up 3 spots from last year. Khris has stepped it up this season, averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists per game on really good efficiency. The Big 3 in Milwaukee is looking strong, and I think they are the only team in the East that can knock out the Nets fully healthy. With the help of Giannis and Drew, maybe Middleton can win his first NBA title this season. At number 39, I got DEMAR DeRozan, down 5 spots from last year. DEMAR has been the leader of the Spurs and has mentored DeJounte Murray quite well. The fact that the Spurs are on pace to make the play-in games is quite impressive. DEMAR is averaging 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists per game, which is very impressive. Still without a consistent 3-point jumper, DEMAR has found other ways to impact the game, such as on defense, finishing, and with his dirty mid-range game. At number 38, I got Fred VanVleet, a new entry to the top 50. This may be a surprise to many of you, but I think Lowry is finally handing over the reins to VanVleet as the Raptors' next point guard. He has championship experience and a chip on his shoulder. I think VanVleet still has a lot of development to come in his game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes an all-star in a couple of years if he keeps developing. Speaking of new entries, at number 37, I got Collin Sexton, averaging 25 points per game. Even though the Cavs solely rely on Garland and Sexton to score, the efficiency and rate Sexton scores the ball at is quite impressive. Not to mention his defense is off the charts, and he is arguably a top 3 defender at his position. I hope Sexton and Garland can create a winning culture with the Cavs. There is such an entertaining backcourt, and it would finally bring fans back to Cleveland. At number 36, I got Nikola Vucevic, up 8 spots from last year. Vucevic has had a roller coaster type of year, yet he has still been able to put up solid numbers. 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists per game is very solid. Vucevic started the season with the hopeless Magic, but then got traded to the new-look Bulls. The duo of him and Levine was supposed to be a force to be reckoned with, but it hasn't quite worked out so far. At this point in making the script, the Bulls are out of the play-in games, and I probably would expect it to stay like that. Hopefully Vucevic isn't the type of player that can fill the stat sheet but not impact winning, or else the Bulls are in big trouble. At number 35, I got Jxmyhighroller, up 11 spots from last year. The reason why CJ is so high isn't because of his improved performance this year, but because I ranked him poorly last year. For some reason, I didn't give CJ the credit he deserved, and his hot start to this season definitely proved me wrong. He has been injury and protocol ridden this season, but hopefully him and Dame can make up some noise in the postseason. At number 34, the first player in the yellow tier, I got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, up 1 spot from last year. Shai has slightly improved this season, averaging 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. The only reason why Shai is this low is because his team hasn't been winning. Sure, that's not his fault, but most of the players in the yellow tier are on winning teams, so that gives them the slight edge over Shai. As I said earlier, you can definitely interchange anyone in the same tier, and I would completely agree with changing Shai up a little bit higher. At number 33, I got Jamal Murray, down 10 spots from last year. Going into this season, I had very high expectations for Jamal, especially after his historic playoff run. Unfortunately, Jamal hasn't quite lived up to those standards, but he has still put up solid numbers, averaging 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Jamal has been a solid sidekick to Jokic. Hopefully Jamal can step it up in the playoffs again. Maybe he's the type of player that performs better when it counts most. At number 32, I got De'Aaron Fox, a new entry to my top 50. De'Aaron is probably the most underrated player in the NBA. Last year, I didn't really think much of him, but he is really something special. I should have included him in my list last year, but here I am now. Averaging 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, De'Aaron has been torching the league, despite the irrelevant team he's on. Sorry, Kings fans. At number 31, I got Ben Simmons, down 3 spots from last year. Ben hasn't really gotten better since his rookie season, and it has hurt the 76ers franchise. If Ben could shoot a 3-pointer, at least at league average efficiency, the 76ers would arguably be the favorite to win the title. His defense is really solid, his ball handling is great, and he has exceptional court vision. If Ben played in the 80s or 90s, he would be an all-time great, but unfortunately, he's playing in the 3-point era, which just so happens to be his kryptonite. At number 30, I got Bam Adebayo, down 6 spots from last year. Bam hasn't really digressed, but he definitely hasn't gotten much better. Averaging almost an identical stat line to last year, Bam is still one of the best big men in the league, at least top 5. But unfortunately, staying stagnant in this league will slowly knock you down the individual rankings. I still think Bam has a lot more potential. It could just be a down year for the big fella. At number 29, I got Pascal Siakam, down 8 spots from last year. To be honest, Siakam has regressed since last year. He has somehow gotten worse at shooting, and he's become the most predictable player in the NBA. Using about 100 spin moves per game, SIAKAM can't seem to knock down any game winners, or normal shots for that matter. I know PASCAL gets a lot of slander, but it's for good reason. As a Raptors fan, the man is basically an off-brand Giannis, and I usually don't hate on my own team's players. I really hope this man can get his acting gear, or else the mini rebuild might not work for the team up north. At number 28, I got Brandon Ingram, up 19 spots from last year. Even though the Pelicans have been playing bad compared to their standards, I don't attribute this to the players, but rather their coach, Stan Van Gundy. Stan has been a decent coach in the NBA, but his old style of coaching isn't really meshing well with these young players. The problem with the Pelicans so far has been random defensive lapses. This isn't because the players aren't skilled on defense, but sometimes it just feels like they aren't really paying attention, and this has been costing them games. This is all up to the coach to solve, I think, because guys like Lonzo really aren't bad defenders. The Pelicans' 3 best players are all extremely young, in Zion, Ingram, and Lonzo. Maybe it's just their experience. Hopefully the Pelicans can bring in a better coach next season, because I really want to see their young core make the playoffs. Regardless, Ingram has been putting up Kevin Durant-esque numbers, averaging 24, 5, and 5 on great efficiency and little playing time. I think that Ingram can be a pseudo Kevin Durant in the future, and the big 3 they got in New Orleans will be something to be reckoned with in the near future. At number 27, I got DOMANTAS Sabonis, up 10 spots from last year. Sabonis has proven he should have been an all-star again, leading the Pacers single-handedly to a formidable seed in the East. Sure, he's had Brogdon, but guys such as TJ Warren and Miles Turner have been out all season, so the load has fallen mostly on Sabonis. Averaging 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, DOMANTAS is a jack of all trades and is a leader of a playoff team. That's a title that deserves some respect. At number 26, I got Zach LaVine, a new entry to the list. Zach LaVine is definitely one of the front runners for the most improved player. The man is averaging 28 points per game. Even though the Bulls have not been playing great for their standards, Zach has been balling the whole time without any frets. I think Zach needs to take more shots alongside VUCEVIC. It seems as if he's trying not to be selfish and get VUCEVIC involved more, but to be honest, Zach has the green light from anywhere inside 30 feet, and I think he should utilize his talents a little bit more. It will likely take some time for VUCEVIC to be integrated into the Bulls system, but it would still be nice to see the Bulls in the play-in games. But that's all for part 1 of this video. Make sure to tune in next week when I go over the top 25 players. This video is taking me a very long time. Probably it's going to take both videos a combined total of 20 hours to make, so I would really appreciate it if you left a like before you leave. It will promote my video to even more people. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Smitty, signing off.